Oh, so which one of these three videos do I want to do first? Well, how about we start with the $27 billion Barack Obama sent to these quote unquote sanctuary cities, the ones housing all these illegals coming in, or quote unquote, excuse me, not illegals because they're allowing them in, refugees. So, again, the biggest problem, I mean the massive issue I have with this, aside from the fact that a lot of these countries are, have people we don't want in this country, as in those 7 Middle Eastern countries Trump has red flagged, if you will. Aside from that, I don't want to see a single person coming into this country when we have quite a few poor people, quite a few people living way under the poverty line. We've got homelessness. I remember doing videos. I haven't had to do it in quite a while, but I remember doing them saying, hey, look, New York City, New York, I guess the state, generally speaking, because it's New York City is part of New York, obviously, but New York City specifically was having record-breaking homeless people. It was in like tens and tens and tens and tens of thousands, if I recall, like in upwards of 70, 80,000 people. Like, oh, we have record numbers. And then I'm doing stories of people who actually have jobs, city workers, full-time city workers don't make enough to pay their rent, can't make enough to survive. So I can't sit here and say, oh, let's be nice to these poor people, need a place to come. What are they going to do? If they get a job, that's a job another American who's probably out of work could have had. Look, if there's an abundance of just stuff, oh, we need help, we need workers, we need stuff. Well, then open the floodgates, so to speak. But the other issue you're going to have, especially, for example, if we're just talking about these Middle Eastern countries, the massive culture difference. I mean, you can't walk outside. Imagine walking outside your house and, in America, and on a Saturday, a guy's across the street washing his car. He's got his music on. Maybe it's rap, maybe it's pop, maybe it's country. Nothing you haven't heard, whatever. And then a new neighbor moves in. He's out washing his car Saturday. You're going to walk outside saying, what the F? What in the hell is it? Who the hell just moved it? Right? It'll actually be shocking. It will be shocking to you to hear that walk outside and hear that. I mean, think about, I'm in the middle class neighborhood. Whoa, who's this guy? Can't speak English. How could they possibly come in here and contribute? Well, most of them can't. So we have to help them financially. They get on the Medicaid, of course. They get health care. They get everything that you wish you had. And those of you who are struggling, even though, let's say you live a middle class or close to middle class lifestyle, and yet you're still struggling paycheck to paycheck, you don't qualify for the subsidy. You don't qualify for that. You don't qualify for anything. But some foreigner who's done nothing for this country can come right in here. Money, 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 money. And the federal government, we're going to make it super duper easy to bring these people in because we're going to give billions of dollars to these cities who will take these people in. So what are the cities going to do? It's the same thing that the schools did. Oh, we get federal funding now? Oh, we'll do whatever they want. Oh, yeah, you got to start teaching Common Core. You got to start doing that. Oh, we don't like that. Oh, but you've been living off of the federal funding for years and years and years and years now. It's become part of your yearly budget, hasn't it? Well, yes, it has. And if you don't comply with what we wish, which is Common Core, have to pull the federal funding. Oh, no, don't do that. So they want to do that with all these sanctuary cities. Get them used to having billions of dollars of extra money just coming right in. Here you go, every year for being a sanctuary city. Thanks a lot. And of course, they're going to use most of that money. I shouldn't say most, but they'll use a portion for sure on these immigrants coming in. But then the city, we have some excess. Well, the city will put it to good use possibly. Fix some things, whatever it may be. Let's assume they don't recklessly spend it like the federal government normally does. And a lot of cities normally do recklessly spend our money. It's just what they do, government, generally speaking. But let's assume there's some shortfalls, budget issues. Okay, we can hire some people back in these different departments. good deal. We got some federal money coming in. It's under the guise of, refugee resettlement. But nonetheless, we're using it for that, and we have extra. And we've been doing this for a few years. And it's filled the budget gaps. We love this thing. And then all of a sudden, listen, we can't. You guys had an issue with some of the refugees we brought in. Yeah, you're kind of discriminating against them. Well, hold on. The guy that was living with them was a known terrorist. They caught him. And it's just a fictitious example, because they have caught some of these guys, by the way, living inside the Western world. But nonetheless, you kind of discriminated. The family felt discriminated. Yeah, but they're not even citizens. Yeah, that's okay, though. Listen, we need you to treat them a little better. We need you to not, put them on the law enforcement radar, or we're going to have to pull that funding. And now what's the city left with? The city's now left with, we have all these refugees we got to pay for. That was in the budget, the hand-me-out, freebie budget from the federal government, and now they're threatening to take it away. And what if they do take it away? Not only do you have those budget shortfalls you had before, but now you got a whole bunch of citizens or refugees, maybe that got citizen status, that you also have to care for, which means now the taxpayers are about to get screwed again. We got to raise your property taxes. We got to raise the driver's license fee. See, but they don't tell you when all this happens, that kind of thing happens, they don't tell you this is specifically why we raise property taxes. This is specifically why we raise the driver's license fee and the fishing fee and this fee and the business license fee and all these fees. It's just we got a budget issue. We got to fill budget shortfall. But if you take a magnifying glass, what's the old saying? Follow the money. So is anybody surprised that we now know, thanks to someone putting the dots, together and figuring out where this money went, all these sanctuary cities has equaled $26 billion. Zerohead says, deplorable? ? Obama sent nearly $27 billion in taxpayer money to fund sanctuary cities in just 2016. Okay. In the President Donald Trump era, there could be a high cost to running a sanctuary city. On January 25th, 2017, the president issued an executive order denying federal funding to sanctuary cities who choose not to comply with federal laws regarding deportation of illegal entrants. Reaction to the new policy from across the political spectrum was immediate. However, the politicians, pundits, and journalists admitted that the total amount of federal funding was undetermined. Our organization, American Transparency, website is openthebooks.com, was able to identify that number. And we found nearly $27 billion, $26.74 billion to be exact, in federal funding just fiscal year 2016 for America's 106 sanctuary cities. Our new report, Federal Funding of America's Sanctuary Cities, details federal grants and other forms of federal spending that flow to those cities. Across America, there are over 300 governmental jurisdictions claiming sanctuary status. Of those governments, there are 106 cities, while the rest are states, counties, and other units of government. Under Trump's executive order, mayors defending their sanctuary city status are essentially imposing a defiance tax on local residents. On average, this tax amounts to $500 per man, woman, and child. Major cities like Washington, D.C., quick look surprised, New York City, quick look really surprised, and Chicago, wow, look super surprised, have the most to lose. And nearly $27 billion is at stake across the country. Here are the top 10 takeaways from our findings. $26.741 billion in annual federal grants, 4 years, equals over $100 billion. 4 years, $100 billion. Again, do you think that could be spent a little bit better on home, at home, as in on our own citizens? Again, we got the crumbling infrastructure. Now Trump's going to have to hike us up into $1 trillion of debt. And we got this crap going on. And then we've got these cities. No, we want our status. We want to keep our status. Well, of course you do. You want the money. That's the real reason behind this, is the cities want the money. Oh, but the poor people need help. No. Don't give me that. You want the money. It's always about the money. The school system, we want the money. We don't like Common Core, but we want the money. So we deal with it. We don't really care about the refugees, but we want the money, so we deal with it. It's the same everywhere, okay? Same blueprint. Number 2, on average, the cost of lost federal funding for a family of 4 residing in one of these 106 sanctuary cities is about $1,800 or $454 per person. A total population of 46.2 million residents happen to live in these 106 sanctuary cities, according to census data. Washington, D.C. and Chicago, Illinois governments received the highest amounts, quick look surprised, of federal funding per resident and therefore have the most to lose by maintaining their sanctuary status. Washington, D.C. municipal government received the highest amount of federal funding on a per capita basis, which is about $3,228 per person or nearly $13,000 per family of 4, or $2.09 billion in total. The city of Chicago, Illinois received the second highest amount of federal funding on a per capita basis, $1,942 per person or $7,768 per family of 4, or $5.3 billion in total. Number 4, in cities with populations of 100,000 and above, the communities with the least per capita federal dollars at risk are St. Paul, Minnesota, which is just $47 per person or $14.2 million total, Downey, California, $36 per person, and Miami, Florida, $67 per person. Number 5, $15.983 billion in federal funds flowed into just 12 major American cities where 1 in 5 illegal entrants reside as of fiscal year 2016. Number 6, Department of Justice grants to law enforcement, i.e. city police departments, totaled $543.9 million, again, fiscal year 2016. Typically, this funding was only a small percentage of the local law enforcement budgets. Number 7, $4.23 billion in federal funding of the 106 sanctuary cities flowed via the direct payment type. These payments funded municipal services such as housing, education, community development, and schools. Number 8, $21.5 billion in federal funding of the 106 sanctuary cities flowed via the grant payment mechanism. These payments funded local police and fire departments, schools, housing, and city services. So again, you got $21.5 billion. That's a lot of money. But they put it in grants, which help pay local police, fire, school, housing, city services. Again, government. Free money? We want it. You got to be a sanctuary city. Okay, fine. Just give some money. We have budget shortfalls. We'll do whatever we have to do. Nobody will say no to free money. Would you say no if they just came to you, boop, dropped a bunch of money in your lap? Absolutely. Oh, I could pay off my house. I could do, oh, yeah, give it up. Oh, a little small thing, disclaimer. This area, we're going to have some refugees coming in here. Pff, whatever, that's fine. I know my house gets paid off. That's all I care about. Right? One-sided, one-track mind. Living in the now, need the money now. It's my money and I need it now. I don't care about anything else. That's why these governments, local, state, city, etc., are all too happy to accept that deal. We don't really care about the immigrants. We just want the freaking money. That's all it's about. I'm telling you right now. In Los Angeles, fully 1 in 5 residents, city residents, which is, it says 22%, are illegal entrants. Whoa. However, the amount of the federal funding amounts to only $126 per resident, $504 per family of 4, or $502 million in total. In Newark, New Jersey, 19% of city residents are undocumented entrants. However, the amount of federal funding amounts to $733 per resident, or $206 million total, or almost $3,000 per family of 4. The threat of losing nearly $27 billion in federal funding seems to be having an effect on some cities. In fact, Miami already reversed their sanctuary city policy. So, bottom line again, they'll do anything for money. It's free money. So my issue, again, besides what I already told you, we need to have that money here first, using it on our own citizens, our own local cities, before we do anything with refugee status, nothing, nonsense. The other issue is what could an additional $27 billion do for us? You know, see my complaint number 1. It goes right in line with that. We used the $27 billion to deal with some of these issues. Could that help deal with the massive homelessness in New York City and other areas? But I focused on New York because it was a big one. Absolutely. Could that $27 billion still be given to each of these cities? Or find the cities that need it the most for not refugee purposes, just government need, budgetary needs. Let's disperse that $26 billion per year throughout the, for the most needed, cities and or counties, etc. Nope. There's always a string attached to it. This is only if you become a sanctuary city. As Donald Trump said, when a country can't pick who can come in and who can go out, could come in and out. What the hell do we have? You're not a country anymore. You're nothing. There's no rule of law at that point. You're going to be taken over. And that's what Barack Obama's goal was from day one. You saw it from day one, and he fought for it his entire time. So, thank goodness he's long gone. And now Trump, as I said before, is now fighting appeal, court. You don't have the right to write the executive order. Yes, I do. No, you don't. Hurry up and let's get the Supreme Court pick of his in there so he can clean house. As soon as you do, okay, court sides with him. Appellate court doesn't. Federal court says no. Okay, thank you, federal court, for saying no. Now I get to go to the Supreme Court instantly. Boom. Give me my rights. Give me my pen so I can write down some more executive orders. Good day, sirs. Again, the liberal left is going insane right now, which has to do with the next video. Speaking of liberal left, my next video is going to focus a little bit on that poor GOP congressman had to get a police escort out of a town hall meeting because they were becoming out of control, I guess. We're going to focus on that now. Take care.